I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Twitter at Wise Advice. Send me your comments, your questions, and your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. Before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 32 of Wise Advice. Wanted to kind of give a shout out here to all of you listening and thank you for your continued support. It amazes me to see the download numbers come in on the show, and the fact that I know you're listening continues to keep me wanting to do this. And I got a couple special things I want to share with you today, and one in particular. You know, I got asked today. Someone said, "Man, I don't know how you do it," and I thought about it for a moment. And because I do a podcast, and a lot of times, and I record them late at night, and I'm up early in the morning, and I'm trying to reply on Facebook and on Twitter, and still be in Connect, because that's where I really believe firmly that Connect is the game changer for me. But I do all that stuff because I want to, right? And I want to give back, and that community that saved my life. And I was at a point where I don't know what would have happened if I couldn't get my weight under control. And it would have been very devastating. And the Connect community reached out and saved me. And of course, my leader as well. And I don't know where I would be. So it caught me off guard when the person asked me, I don't know how you do it. And my first reaction was, I don't know how I do it either, but I do know why. I know why I do it. And it got me, bringing me full circle back to what we're doing here, is if you know why you're doing something, the how just kind of works. It's just, the how just shows up. So I don't know where I get the motivation. I don't know where I get the stamina. I don't know where I get the time. But why I do this is so important. Just like what you're trying to do, losing the weight is so important. Maintaining your weight is so important. If you know why you're doing it, you truly know why, you truly believe it, you truly feel it, then the how just figures it out. And so I want to give you another glimpse into a why. And this just popped into Facebook today, Facebook at Wise Advice. And it got me choked up a little bit. And I want to read it verbatim, so bear with me here. And it starts off real simple. It says, "Hi, wingman. No need to return the message. I just wanted to share my experience with you. Around 5 years ago, I had lost about the same amount of weight you have lost this go around, which brought me to a very comfortable place. I see the excitement in you that I had felt then. Yep, clothing stores love me too. I gained them back and joined Weight Watchers around the same time you did. I feel very fortunate to have been able to watch your journey this time from the onset. You continue to be an inspiration. During that first year, I was in the thick of a master's in nursing informatics program. I kept running on the premise that I would buckle down and I would do Weight Watchers 100% on track as soon as I finished school. Bad choice again. In December, I found a lump, and on January 3rd was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. The day I was supposed to walk in cap and gown, I was in a hospital cap and gown, having surgery. I'm currently in the thick of chemo. Then we'll get radiation. And this is by no means a woe was me story. My faith is great, and I will get through this and carry on to live out the retirement plan that I'm living one day. I worked too long and too hard to let go. While unable to follow Weight Watchers at this moment, my physician tells me after radiation I can. This was a long post to say that following you from the beginning and still able to do so and watch your videos is the only thing that keeps me engaged and looking to my future weight loss journey. So the point of this is to merely thank you and thank your family for sharing your journey. It helps the rest of us to get a grip on our own." So man, when I read that instantly took me to that why. This is exactly why I do this. I'm not looking for anything in return. as you've noticed, I'm not out here. I don't have a subscription plan. I don't have any of the stuff a typical podcast seems to kind of navigate and gravitate to. My joy comes from an email just like that. Here's someone who is staying in the process and battling so much, and to have this tool out there to keep the mind in the game and to keep the motivation. That right there will last a lifetime in my memories and in my brain, and I will never forget that. And the cool thing is because of the mindset, we know she's going to be just fine. We know she's going to get through this, and we know she's going to be back in Connect, and we know she's going to be back into part of our community. And I can't wait till that day comes. But what a cool feeling that's going to be. But so I just wanted to share that with you. I thought that was it was incredible when it came across my inbox and on Facebook, and it just reaffirmed for me that I'm doing exactly what I want to do, and to be able to give back to that community in that way is really powerful. So thank you very much for the email. Very honored again to be your wingman, and honored to walk this journey with you and to hold your hand as you go through all this radiation and the chemo, and I'm here for you, and the entire Connect community is here from you. And since this was coming on Facebook, when this post goes to Facebook, please comment in on here and show the support. I know she'll be out there reading it, and I just want to show her what kind of support this community has for all of us right there. So very cool right there. I want to switch gears now and switch into a Twitter. Marissa on Twitter writes in, and just a simple tweet: I'm celebrating being 50 pounds down, 25% of the way through my weight loss journey. Marissa, great job. 50 pounds, right? That is incredible. When's the last time you did that by accident? Right? You don't lose 50 pounds by accident. You lose 50 pounds because you're dedicated, because you're focused, because you're disciplined, and because you have a goal in mind. That is phenomenal work. I'm so happy to see that tweet. Social media is blowing up, and we're changing our lives, and we're maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and we're doing such great work. The world needs to know, and you sent it out there to the universe, and very cool to read that. So great job there. Next up is Valerie. Valerie writes in and says, so when my husband gets home from work, he's usually very hungry. I work from home, so when 5:30 rolls around, I usually start making dinner for us. I like to make dinner because I can control the point values. Sometimes, though, at 6 o'clock or whenever dinner is, I'm just not hungry. I feel a sense of obligation to eat, to connect with my husband, and also not be wasteful. I also feel this way when dining out. I am not hungry, but I eat to fit in socially and also not to waste the meal in front of me. I've tried not eating many hours before dinner, but I find being very hungry can trigger a binge for me. So do you have any advice on how to handle this? I'm sure others struggle with this as well, so I'd love for you to address this in an upcoming show. So, Valerie, here's what I'd say to there, as I can relate. And I answer these questions based on what I would do and how I handled my journey, and so there is not a right answer. The right answer is whatever you need to do to stay on the plan long term. So it's going to be different for every single person. But in these scenarios, I'll tell you what I did, and I'll tell you what I continue to do, and because that works for me, and then you need to modify that for your own scenario. So I had a couple key events as I was trying to lose my weight, and so I break my journey into two different chapters at least. And chapter 1 is losing weight. Chapter 2 is maintaining my weight. And so during the first phase of my weight loss journey, as I'm trying to lose weight, to me, there was very little else more important than losing weight. So you heard me talk about it the other day. I went to a prestigious golf event. I stopped at Walmart and bought lunch, and I took lunch to a golf event because if eating lunch that I can control the point value was more important than hanging out socially and eating socially. Many dinners is I would eat what I needed to eat, and I would fix my own dinner, and we didn't eat as a family some nights because I had already eaten, because I eat what I needed to eat. When I got through that phase in the maintenance mode, I was able to control it a little more, and now I'm integrating it back in socially. It's a little awkward, sure, it's a little awkward to sit there in a social setting and not eat. But I had a goal, and my goal was, I would eat before I would go to an event, and I would simply say at these events, "Hey, I've already eaten. I know we're here for a social gathering. I've already eaten. I've taken care of that, and because I just have a plan." So the only encouragement I would give you is there's going to be times when that's what you need to do, is you need to focus on you. And I get the connectedness to the family unit. That's very important, to sit down and eat dinner together, but it doesn't necessarily have to mean with food. I would now, looking into your email a little bit, I understand I would try and adjust my schedule so that dinner time falls in line so that we can eat together. I would continue to make the healthy meals. I would balance my points ahead of time so that I could eat a bigger dinner, eat a smaller dinner, whatever you needed to get through. But I tell you, this goes all back into a how, right? All of these questions, all the questions you're asking me, you're looking for an answer of how. And I'm not focused on how. I'm focused on why. If you know why you're doing this, you'll figure out the how. If the most important thing to you right now is losing weight, you'll figure out how to integrate it in. But if we're looking for how do I do it, the how is going to change every single day. There isn't the same how for 2 different meals. 3 meals in a row won't have the same how. They'll all have the same why. So if you focus on why you're doing this, and every meal you're conscious about why I'm doing this, at some point when you reach your goal, when you hop on the scale for the very last time in a weight loss mode, you can make a shift. And you can make a shift back into integrating different hows to maintain it. It's significantly different maintaining your weight than it is to try and lose weight. So Valerie, that's my advice to you. I know it's a roundabout answer, and I know it's not exactly the answer you're looking for because I can't give you a how. The how is going to change every single time, and how is just going to be different. So I just tap into the why. Why are you doing this? Why did you join? Has that problem, does it still exist or no? If it still exists, then everything you do should be focused on solving that why. Solving the issue at hand, losing the weight, getting to a healthy weight, and then enjoying your life at that point on. So that's the advice I'd give you there. I'm always going to focus back to the why because I think the why is more important. You heard at the beginning of the show, this is why I do this. It gives me such great pleasure and to understand that there's folks out there that we all struggle, and we struggle every single day. And if we have a daily dose of inspiration, we can do this. And so I'd ask you to go ahead and send in your email, send in your comments. I'll put them in, and love to hear from you, figure out how you're working this plan. So that we can see if you're working it properly, and if we can shift the focus to a why, see if that makes a difference in your journey. And we really have an opportunity to go after it and have an opportunity to make a great difference. So thank you for tuning in. That's going to do it for this time. Remember, losing weight, getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You've got to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights and your goals and go after it. I wish you good focus.